Forex is the slipperiest of all these markets to trade. It has a tendency to reverse, be trendless, do all the things that make it very difficult to be successful at. In fact, John Maynard Keynes made a tremendous amount of money in stocks, but he never made money in currencies. That's very, very important to understand and remember. Now, of the people that I have suspected are making very good money in currencies, they use something known as the economic calendar. And so I want to talk about the economic calendar with regard or in conjunction with seasonality. And then in order to show you the Forex markets, I'm going to have to use a market update from a prior week because it is the weekend and the Forex platform will not run for me at the moment. But it will start to run when the markets start to move again later on this evening. The Forex platform closes from Friday evening into Sunday evening. And so I really don't need to show you the live market to get you to understand how to use seasonality with currencies. I'm going to show you how to do it. So when I'm looking at a stock, the main thing that I'm paying attention to with stocks are earnings announcements. But the reality is there's something called an economic calendar. And if you do an online search for economic calendar, this is what you'll see. You'll see Bloomberg's got an economic calendar, and you'll see that Yahoo Finance has an economic calendar. And so if we go over and we look at the economic finance calendar for Yahoo Finance, you'll notice that we don't have March 28th. It's actually Sunday, March 27th when I'm doing this video. And the reason I'm showing you is because I want to actually see what's going to come up on Monday. So if I go over to Bloomberg, which is also a free website, you don't have to log into or put your name or anything. You can just go over here and they'll actually show you the economic calendar. But for instance, Monday, March 28th, we have international trade in goods at 8:30. We have personal income in outlays, pending home sales, Dallas Fed mortgage, 3-month bill auction, 6-month bill auction, and 2-year note auction. Now, of all of these events, I would expect the international trade in goods to have the most impact on currencies. And the reason for that is because the trade of balance is very, very important. It's way beyond the scope of this course to explain to you exactly which of these economic events are more likely, but you can pretty much figure it out for yourself. So like, for instance, on Tuesday, we got the S&P Case Shiller. That's really regards more of the mortgage market. We don't really expect much of an upset there. Janet Yellen speaks. Now, we could see if that moves the market. So anyway, each of these times we have 11:30 a.m. Eastern. That's what's nice about this economic calendar at Bloomberg is it gives us an Eastern time. So I can just sit here and say, okay, Janet Yellen, that's probably good to know. And international trade in goods, that's good to know because Janet Yellen's the head of the Federal Reserve and could be talking about changes in interest rates. Farm prices. So farm prices is something that could be watched to see what's going on with currency prices and maybe even some of the commodity prices, looking at grains and meats, soft sugars and so forth. Natural gas report. So we could watch for that in terms of what's going on with oil. Bloomberg Consumer Comfort Index, that could impact exchange rates between the US dollar and foreign currencies. Jobless claims is another one coming out. That is an important announcement. Motor vehicle sales, employment situation, PMI manufacturing index, ISM manufacturing index, consumer sentiment. These are all very important announcements coming out. Consumer sentiment's very important. Construction spending, Baker Hughes rig count. So I could sit here throughout the day. Land talks a lot about day trading the Forex markets. He's a big believer that people can be successful in trading the Forex markets. And I do know a friend of mine who has shown me very large account sizes that he's trading. Very gracious of him to do that. And he does it by paying close attention to how the currency rates react when each one of these announcements come out. And this is known as an announcement effect or a news announcement effect. So the question is how can we combine this with seasonality? If we come over here and we take a look at the Forex platform for seasonality, what I've done is I've taken the time to go ahead and throw out the pairs that I don't look at. The Swiss franc is not a tradable pair because the central bank actually messed with or rigged the rates. They did so last year, so nobody who's serious about currencies is paying any attention to the Swiss franc. Here's another Swiss franc I missed. Hit save group. If I hit save group and I created a group called Forex, and it's really easy to do. You can create it whatever group you want. I recommend you do what I do because these are all the currency pairs that are the most tradable. These are combinations of the 7 most powerful currencies in the world. And again, I throw out the CHF, anything with that. I throw out the SEK, which is the Swedish krona. I throw out the TRY, which is the Turkish lira. I throw out the TRY. I throw out the Mexican dollar. Or no, excuse me, the Hong Kong dollar I throw out. MXN, I throw out the Mexican dollar. HKD is Hong Kong dollar. I throw that out. These just aren't liquid enough for you to consider. The NOK, NOK, which is a Norwegian krona, I throw out. The ZAR, which is the South Africa rand, I throw that out too. I only focus on the 7 biggest and most liquid pairs. Now let's go see what happens when we do a search by month. In, for instance, the month of, let's do it in the month of March. We don't have any days left in the month of March, but let's go ahead and dig. And here's our results. Look, March 15th through April 30. Look at all this stuff is going into the end of April. Into the end of April. That's what I'm seeing. Some stopping in March. Let's go through and look at our specific pairs. So what you're going to see in the update that I'm going to splice into this training video is you're going to see the Australian dollar. Let's see if we've got anything in here in the Australian dollar. Here it is. There's the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. I'm looking for the Australian dollar against the US dollar. I can see, I'm not seeing, where's the Australian dollar against the US dollar? And here's the Australian dollar against the US dollar from March 15th through April 5th through April 14th. Weekly bullish. You can see we don't have any real strong bullishness. Wait, what happened to my score? Hold on. And that added it over to the list. And now let's take a look at the chart. And there's the New Zealand dollar. Let's go back and I want to add the Australian dollar to the list because I can kind of compare them using these two charts, which is good for you to see anyway. I mean, you need to know how to do this as easily as you can. And here it is. So now I've got the Australian dollar over here. And let's look at that. And look, see, the Australian dollar looks like right now at least it has a better trend than, for instance, the New Zealand dollar. So the thing is that I expect these things to be fairly correlated. See how sloppy the price structure is? A good friend of mine who's a very successful Forex trader, Sebi Onani, calls this sloppy price structure. And I always tell Sebi if he'll ever get a training together. But anyway, he's a professional trader. He pays close attention to the differences in price structure. In New Zealand, dollar does not have as good of a price structure over that same period, look, as the Australian dollar does this year. So for that reason, I'll continue queuing on my Australian dollar trade. But this is exactly how we use the seasonality of currencies. But we want to be really, really careful to mix it with information that we can get off of the economic calendar. The economic calendar over here at Bloomberg Business is for free. You don't have to sign up for anything at all. It's powered by Econoday. It's completely free service to the public. It's really beautiful. And you can see all of the different reports that are coming out that are likely to impact the economy. And if they impact the economy, then it's going to be seen in the currency rates. That's why economists pay close attention to the linkage between currency rates and the economic calendar. Maybe not. Okay, let's go. All right. So what I'm doing is working the Aussie. If we look at the daily chart, we can see that the Aussie's uptrending nicely. If we look at the monthly chart, we can see that it's been going through some really massive fluctuations in value. And again, right now, it's on a bullish uptrend. It's trading above the 10-day moving average. And so because of that, I'm working to the bullish side on the 15-minute chart. And I'm being very patient. I'm keeping my risk as minimal as I possibly can, and I am letting the market gradually figure itself out. And to see if this is going to continue moving up. We see this continuing going into new highs after all this volume has come into the market. Here I'll mark it with a good arrow. So that's what I'm watching. I really don't want to focus on any other contracts, but let's go ahead and take a look at what else is going on out there. There's nothing. That's real sideways. And the Aussie Kiwi is rising, but again, I'm getting a lot better. I'm already in the Aussie, so let's just focus on that. The Euro Aussie sideways. Euro CAD's real sideways. The channel, the Euro Pound, is real sideways. Sideways on the Euro Yen. Sideways on the Euro Kiwi. The Euro looks as if it's... See again, sideways. Pound Aussie. Falling, but now is sideways because it's acting like it's moving back up. And there could be a good opportunity on the Pound Aussie. I'm already in the Aussie though, so I really don't need to worry about it. But I can go ahead and mark it and see what it's going to do. The Pound CAD sideways at the moment. That buy stop on there. I want to get rid of that buy stop. Pound Kiwi sideways. Pound is sideways. Kiwi Yen is sideways. Sideways on the Kiwi. CAD's falling and trending down nicely.